In the quiet archives of history, locked away in the words of long-dead philosophers, lies a forgotten science. It is not a science of atoms or stars, but a science of the soul. And within this science is a blueprint, a detailed schematic for building not just a life, but a fortune of such profound quality and resilience that it is almost unrecognizable to the modern eye. What if I told you that the greatest secrets to wealth creation are not in the latest business bestseller, but in the 2,000-year-old private journals of a Roman emperor? We live in an age that is obsessed with the accumulation of wealth, yet seemingly ignorant of its purpose. We see the frantic chase for the next stock, the next crypto, the next shortcut to a life of luxury. We see people achieve immense riches, only to find themselves more anxious, more isolated, and more spiritually impoverished than before. They have built vast, glittering palaces on foundations of sand, and they live in constant terror of the coming tide. This is the hollow fortune of the modern world. The great Stoic philosophers, emperors, senators, playwrights, and slaves would look upon such a fortune not with admiration, but with pity. They knew that wealth, which costs you your peace, your character, or your freedom, is not a prize, but a prison. They understood that the quality of a fortune is infinitely more important than its quantity. They knew the difference between the wealth that serves you and the wealth that you serve. Here on this channel, we see ourselves as curators of this lost knowledge. We are a digital library dedicated to unlocking this ancient wisdom and translating it for the modern world. Our mission is to provide you with the philosophical tools to build a life and a fortune of true substance. If this quest for a deeper form of wealth resonates with you, then join our school of thought. Like this video and subscribe to help us preserve and share this vital wisdom. Today, we are going to give you the key to this ancient library. We will unlock the Stoic blueprint for wealth. This is not a guide to simply getting more, but a guide to becoming more. We will show you how to construct a fortune that is not only large, but also strong, ethical, and peaceful. A fortune that the great Stoics themselves, with their unflinching focus on virtue, would look upon with a nod of genuine admiration. Let's consider the story of a man we will call Julian. Julian was a success by any modern metric. A partner at a fast-growing tech firm, he was relentlessly focused on a single number: his net worth. His life was a series of calculations, of risk assessments, of moves and counter-moves on the great chessboard of the market. He was winning the game, and his accounts were swelling with the spoils of his victories. But his inner world was a landscape of turmoil. He was a slave to the notifications on his phone, his mood rising and falling with the chaotic dance of the stock market ticker. His relationships were transactional, valued for their potential to advance his financial ambitions. He was physically present with his family, but his mind was 1,000 miles away, running simulations of market scenarios. He was building a great fortune, but he was losing himself in the process. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in ancient Rome and a dedicated Stoic, would have seen Julian as a man in a state of profound sickness. Seneca knew that wealth is a tool like a sharp axe. In the hands of a skilled and virtuous craftsman, it can build a beautiful life. But in the hands of a frantic, unskilled, and anxious person, it is a dangerous weapon that is more likely to cause grievous self-injury than it is to build anything of lasting value. Julian's fortune, though growing, was unadmirable by Stoic standards. It was built on a foundation of anxiety, a constant fear of loss that poisoned any pleasure he might have taken in his gains. It was built on a kind of social aggression, a relentless need to be seen as more successful than his peers. And it was built without a clear purpose beyond its own accumulation. His fortune was a monument to his ego, not a tool for his freedom. The Stoics were not ascetics who believed money was evil. They saw it as a preferred indifferent. It is preferable to have it than not, but it has no bearing on one's ultimate worth or happiness, which can only be found in virtue. They would admire a person for their character, not their cash. Therefore, a fortune they would admire must be a direct reflection of a virtuous character. It must be built and managed in a way that demonstrates the four cardinal virtues. These four virtues are prudence or wisdom, justice or morality, courage or fortitude, and temperance or self-control. For the Stoics, these were the pillars of a good life. They are also, as we shall see, the four pillars of an admirable fortune. A fortune that is built upon these pillars is not just a collection of assets. It is a masterpiece of a well-lived life. Julian knew nothing of this. He was operating on the modern world's blueprint, a blueprint that often values cleverness over wisdom, profit over justice, recklessness over courage, and insatiable ambition over temperance. He was building a skyscraper with a flawed architectural plan. And though the building was getting taller, it was fundamentally unstable, and it was a miserable place to live. He felt this instability in his bones. He felt the emptiness behind the numbers. He would achieve a new financial milestone, feel a fleeting moment of satisfaction, and then the goalposts would immediately shift. The hollow feeling would return, demanding more. His fortune was a hungry ghost, and its appetite was infinite. He was trapped in a cycle of accumulation that brought no peace, only a greater fear of loss. This is the great poverty of modern wealth. It is a richness of means and a poverty of ends. We have become masters of the how of making money, but we have become infants in the why. Without a strong philosophical why, the how becomes a destructive force, a runaway train that takes us further and further from the lands of tranquility and genuine happiness. The ancient wisdom of the Stoics is the why. It is the architectural plan that gives the entire structure of your financial life meaning, stability, and beauty. It is the key that unlocks not just the chest of wealth, but the door to a good life. It is time to set aside the flawed modern blueprints and to unroll the master plans of the ancient architects of the soul. The first pillar of a fortune the Stoics would admire is prudence, or practical wisdom. This means that the fortune is built not on a lucky gamble, not on a speculative frenzy, but on a foundation of sound, rational, and patient judgment. It is the application of reason to the world of finance. It is a fortune built by a philosopher, not a gambler. In practical terms, this means rejecting the siren's call of get-rich-quick schemes. It means favoring proven, long-term strategies, such as investing in low-cost, globally diversified index funds, over the frantic and often disastrous game of trying to pick the next winning stock. It is the wisdom to know that slow, steady, and certain is infinitely superior to fast, flashy, and fragile. A prudent fortune is also one that is protected by wisdom. This means having a solid defensive plan, a robust emergency fund, proper insurance, and a well-thought-out estate plan. The prudent builder does not just focus on the height of the walls, they ensure the foundations are deep and the moat is wide. They prepare for the inevitable storms of life with calm foresight, not panicked reaction. The second pillar is justice. This is a radical and often ignored aspect of wealth building. A fortune the Stoics would admire must be acquired through just and ethical means. It cannot be built on the exploitation of others, on deceit, or on causing harm to the community. It must be the result of providing genuine value to the world, of a fair and honorable exchange. But Stoic justice goes deeper. It is rooted in the concept of oikoiosis, the understanding that all of humanity is a single family, a single body. Therefore, a just fortune is one that is not merely hoarded for personal gain, but is used in part for the good of the whole. It is a fortune that is generous, that supports the community, that helps those in need. An admirable fortune has a purpose beyond itself. The third pillar is courage. This is not the reckless courage of the speculator, but the quiet, firm courage of the principled investor. It is the courage to be boring in a world that rewards excitement. It is the courage to live below your means and save diligently when the culture around you is screaming to spend. It is the courage to stay your course during a terrifying market crash, trusting in your prudent plan. This courage is also the fortitude to face financial loss without losing your inner peace. The Stoic knows that their true worth is in their character, which can never be taken away. Therefore, while a financial loss is not preferred, it is not a catastrophe. The courageous builder can watch their portfolio fall by 30% and not lose a single night's sleep, because their ultimate security is not in their portfolio. It is in their philosophy. The fourth and final pillar is temperance, or self-control. This is the virtue of knowing what is enough. The unadmirable fortune is built on a foundation of infinite desire. It has no finish line. An admirable fortune has a clearly defined goal, the point of self-sufficiency, the point at which you have enough to live your good life without needing to work for money. This is the Stoic finish line, and it is called freedom. Temperance is the discipline to stop moving the goalposts. It is the wisdom to find joy and contentment in sufficiency rather than forever chasing more. A fortune built on the pillar of temperance is a finite project with a glorious end, the liberation of your time and your life. It is the ultimate rejection of the rat race and the embrace of a life of intentionality and peace. These four pillars, prudence, justice, courage, and temperance, are the blueprint. This is the ancient wisdom, unlocked. A fortune built on this foundation is not just a pile of assets. It is a testament to a well-lived life. It is an external structure that is in perfect harmony with a virtuous inner state. It is strong, it is beautiful, it is meaningful. It is a fortune a Stoic would admire. Julian, our anxious and successful tech partner, stumbled upon this blueprint during a moment of personal crisis. The stress of his hollow pursuit had led him to burnout. In his search for answers, he picked up a copy of Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. The words of the emperor, written in a cold tent on a battlefield 2 millennia ago, spoke directly to the frantic emptiness of his modern life. He realized he was not an architect. He was a bricklayer, frantically adding bricks to a tower without any plan. He had been so focused on the how that he had completely neglected the why. He made a courageous decision. He decided to tear down his unstable, unadmirable structure and to start rebuilding slowly and deliberately on the foundation of the 4 Stoic virtues. He began with prudence. He sold off his high-risk speculative investments. The daily thrill and terror were gone, and in their place, a strange and welcome quiet. He worked with a financial advisor to create a simple, boring, long-term investment plan based on global diversification. He was no longer a gambler, he was a steward. His anxiety, which he had thought was a permanent part of his personality, began to evaporate. Next, he turned to justice. He looked at his business practices, at the way he treated his employees and his clients. He began to focus not just on maximizing profit, but on creating genuine value and building fair, honorable relationships. He also sat down with his wife and they created a plan for their philanthropy, a justice fund dedicated to a cause they both believed in. For the first time, his wealth began to feel meaningful. Then came the test of courage. A few months after he had rebalanced his portfolio, the market went through a steep correction. The old Julian would have panicked. He would have been glued to the screen, his stomach in knots, likely selling at the bottom in a fit of terror. The new Julian, the Stoic in training, acknowledged the situation, reviewed his prudent plan, and did something remarkable. Nothing. He took a walk with his family instead. He had practiced for this moment. He had rehearsed it in his mind. He knew this was the storm his ship was built for. He had faith in his blueprint. And by courageously staying the course, he not only avoided a catastrophic mistake, but he also gained a deep, experiential confidence in his new philosophy. He had met the test, and his inner citadel had held. Finally, he embraced temperance. He and his wife had a series of deep conversations about what enough really meant for them. They looked not at what their peers had, but at what a truly good life required. They designed their ideal life, a life rich in time, experiences, and learning. And they calculated the amount of money they would need to fund that life. This became their new goal. It was a smaller number than they had thought, and it felt like a finish line, not a starting pistol. This is the process of building. It is a slow, deliberate, and deeply satisfying work. It is the integration of your financial life with your philosophical life. You are not just managing assets, you are practicing virtue. Your budget becomes an exercise in temperance. Your investment strategy becomes an exercise in prudence. Your generosity becomes an exercise in justice. Your calm during a downturn becomes an exercise in courage. Your financial life is transformed from a source of stress into a spiritual practice. It becomes the gymnasium where you train your soul. Every decision, every action is an opportunity to become a better, wiser, and more virtuous person. This is the profound beauty of the Stoic approach to wealth. It makes the entire endeavor sacred. The fortune you are building is a living thing. It is a reflection of your character. As your wisdom grows, your portfolio becomes more prudent. As your sense of justice deepens, your generosity increases. As your courage solidifies, your calm becomes unshakable. As your temperance matures, your contentment blossoms. You and your fortune are growing together in perfect harmony. This is the antidote to the hollow crown. The crown of the Stoic builder is not made of gold. It is made of the quiet pride of a craftsman who has built something strong, beautiful, and true. It is a satisfaction that is deep, abiding, and immune to the fluctuations of the market. It is the peace of a master builder who is living in a house of his own wise design. This is not a path of perfection. You will make mistakes. You will be tempted by the old blueprints. You will feel the pull of fear and greed. The work of the builder is to notice these imperfections, these cracks in the foundation, and to patiently repair them. As Marcus Aurelius would say, the work is to return to the tune of your philosophy again and again, with patience and without self-flagellation. The ancient wisdom is not a dogma to be followed blindly. It is a set of principles to be applied intelligently to your own unique circumstances. You are the master architect of your own life. The Stoic blueprint provides the foundational principles of good design, but you are the one who must adapt them to your landscape, your materials, and your own unique vision of a good life. This is a creative and deeply personal process. You are not just building a fortune, you are building your life's great work, a work that will provide you with freedom and security, a work that will be a source of pride, a work that will be a gift to your family and your community, a work that the wisest souls of history would recognize as something truly admirable. So, let us begin the work. Let us unroll the blueprint and examine our own foundations. Are they built on the solid rock of the four virtues or on the shifting sands of modern financial dogma? Let us have the courage to tear down what is unstable and to rebuild with wisdom, with purpose, and with a commitment to creating something truly worthy of our one precious life. This act of building can feel like a solitary one, especially when you are following a different blueprint from everyone around you. You are building a solid, timeless stone edifice while your neighbors are erecting flashy towers of glass and steel. It is easy to doubt your own design, to feel the pull of conformity. This is why a community of fellow builders is essential. Think of this channel and our community as the Builders Guild, a place where architects and craftsmen following the same ancient and honorable tradition can gather. a place to share plans, to discuss challenges, to admire each other's work, and to find the encouragement to continue a project that goes against the grain of the modern world. The Stoic builders of old had their schools, their porticos where they would gather. We have this digital space. Here, we can remind each other of the first principles when we are tempted to take shortcuts. We can celebrate the slow, steady progress that the outside world would ignore. We can find solidarity in the shared pursuit of a more meaningful form of wealth. Your project, your fortune, is a vital contribution to this guild. When you share your vision, when you speak of your struggles and your successes in applying these principles, you are reinforcing the foundation of our entire community. You are showing others what is possible. You are a living example of the blueprint in action. So I want to ask you to contribute to our gallery of designs. I want you to engage in a powerful act of creative visualization. In the comments section below, describe your vision. Beyond the numbers, what would a fortune that the Stoics would admire actually look like in your life? What would that kind of financial and spiritual freedom allow you to do, to be, to create? Perhaps it's the freedom to leave a corporate job and start a small ethical business in your community. Perhaps it's the ability to fund your children's education without debt, while also supporting a charity you care about. Perhaps it's simply the quiet life of a modern Cincinnatus, a person who has enough and finds their joy in their garden, their books, and their family. Paint a picture with your words. Let's create a mosaic of truly admirable goals, a testament to the fact that wealth can be about so much more than just consumption and status. Your vision will inspire someone else. It will give them a clearer picture of the beautiful and meaningful destination they are working toward. Let's build this gallery of worthy goals together. After you have shared your vision, read the visions of your fellow builders. Appreciate the diversity and beauty of their designs. Offer a word of encouragement. That is a beautiful vision. Thank you for sharing that. I'm inspired by your goal. This is how we build the morale of the guild. This is how we support each other in this great and noble work. Thank you for this. Every shared vision is a blow against the hollow, uninspired definition of wealth that our culture tries to sell us. It is an act of defiance. It is an act of creation. It is the beginning of building something real. Now let us imagine the finished structure. Let us walk through the halls of a completed, admirable fortune. What does it feel like to live in such a well-built house? What is the inner state of the person who has successfully followed the Stoic blueprint and completed their great work? This vision is what will pull you forward. The person who lives within this fortune is, above all, peaceful. They are free from the gnawing anxiety that plagues the modern accumulator. They have a deep, abiding sense of security that is not dependent on the daily news or the whims of the market. It is the security of a master craftsman who knows their work is solid, built on timeless principles and designed to withstand any storm. They are content. They have escaped the hedonic treadmill, the endless cycle of wanting more. They have defined enough, and they have found it. This contentment is not a lazy resignation. It is a joyful and active appreciation for the life they have so deliberately and wisely built. It is the freedom of wanting what you have, which is the most profound freedom of all. They are purposeful. Their wealth is not a dead pile of assets. It is a living tool that they use to express their values in the world. Their fortune allows them to be more of who they truly are. It is a source of generosity, a means to support their community, a way to leave the world a little better than they found it. Their life and their wealth have a clear and noble purpose, and they are resilient. Because their true treasure is their character, they can face the possibility of financial loss with a calm that is baffling to the outside world. They have practiced for this. They have built a fortune, but more importantly, they have built a soul that does not depend on that fortune for its peace or its worth. They have achieved the ultimate Stoic prize, an unshakable inner citadel. This is the inner state of the master builder. This is the life that awaits you at the end of this project. It is a life of peace, contentment, purpose, and resilience. It is a life that is, in a word, admirable. It is a life that is not just financially rich, but philosophically, spiritually, and humanly rich. Julian, in time, came to inhabit this state. His journey was long, and it required him to unlearn almost everything he thought he knew about wealth and success. But as he built his new fortune on the four pillars, he found that he was also rebuilding himself. He became a better husband, a better father, a better leader, a better man. His final net worth might not have been as high as it could have been had he continued on his old, reckless path, but his life worth was immeasurably higher. He had built a fortune that he was not afraid to lose. He had built a life that he was proud to live. He had built something that Seneca, that Marcus Aurelius, that Epictetus would have looked upon and understood as a thing of true value. This is the invitation of the ancient wisdom. It is an invitation to a different kind of game, a game that is more challenging, more meaningful, and infinitely more rewarding than the simple, brutish game of accumulation. It is the game of becoming an architect of a virtuous and admirable life, and using your financial resources as the raw material for that beautiful construction. This is true wealth. It is the perfect alignment of your inner and outer worlds. It is an external reality that reflects an internal virtue. It is a financial life that is not a source of stress, but a source of profound and lasting satisfaction. It is the feeling of a job well done, of a life well lived. So, let us begin. Let us pick up our tools, the compass of reason, the trowel of daily action, the plumb line of our principles, and the ancient blueprint of the four virtues. Let us begin the slow, deliberate, and joyful work of building a fortune that is worthy of our highest aspirations. The materials are all around you: your income, your savings, your time, your attention. The question is, what will you build with them? Will you continue to construct the hollow, unstable towers of the modern world? Or will you have the courage and the wisdom to follow the master plan and build a timeless edifice of true and lasting worth? Remember, you are not just building for yourself. You are building for your family, for your children. The greatest inheritance you can leave them is not a pile of money, but the example of a well-lived life. By building an admirable fortune, you're also building a legacy of wisdom that can be passed down through generations. This is a path of deep optimism. It is the belief that a better way is possible. It is the refusal to accept that a life of financial anxiety is our unavoidable fate. It is the confident assertion that, with the help of ancient wisdom, we can build lives of peace, purpose, and prosperity, even in the midst of a chaotic modern world. Do not be intimidated by the grandeur of the project. You do not build a cathedral in a day. You lay one stone perfectly and then another. Your task is to focus on laying today's stone with as much wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance as you can muster. The grand structure will rise on its own as a natural result of your daily, virtuous efforts. Let this be the day you graduate from being a mere accumulator of money to becoming a master builder of a meaningful life. Let this be the day you unlock the wisdom that has been waiting for you for centuries. Let this be the day you begin the construction of a fortune the Stoics would be proud to call a masterpiece. The ancient wisdom is not complicated. At its heart, it is this: character is fate, and character is choice. Your financial destiny will be the sum total of your financial choices. If you make those choices from a place of virtue, you will build something virtuous. If you make them from a place of fear and greed, you will build something ugly and unstable. The power is in your choices. This is the ultimate creative act. You are taking the raw, chaotic material of the financial world and you are shaping it with your reason and your will into a life of order, beauty, and purpose. You are an artist, and your life is your canvas. The Stoic philosophy provides the principles of good composition, And what a beautiful composition it is. A life where your needs are met, your mind is at peace, your time is your own, and your resources are a force for good in the world. This is not a utopian dream. This is the achievable goal of a life lived according to the Stoic blueprint. So let us honor the ancient architects, let us pick up the tools they left for us, and let us begin the noble work of building. The world has enough hollow fortunes. Let us fill it with admirable ones. Let us build things that last. The first step is always the hardest. It is the decision to change blueprints. It is the courage to admit that the path you have been on is not leading to the destination you truly desire. Make that courageous admission today, and then take the first small step on the new path. Open a book, start a journal, have a conversation, lay the first stone. You will find that this path is not one of grim sacrifice. It is a path of profound joy, the joy of the craftsman. The joy of seeing a beautiful and sturdy structure rise from the ground as a result of your own skill and effort. The joy of living a life that is in harmony with your deepest values. This is the fortune that cannot be lost. A market can crash, a currency can fail, a thief can steal your possessions, but no one can ever steal your virtue. No one can ever steal your character. No one can ever steal the wisdom you have gained. The core of an admirable fortune is indestructible because it is within you. Let this be your new definition of wealth. Wealth is not having things. It is being a certain kind of person, a person who is wise, just, courageous, and self-controlled. Cultivate this person, and you will be the richest individual in any room you enter. The wisdom is unlocked. The blueprint is in your hands. The tools are at your disposal. The only remaining question is, will you build? Will you accept the challenge and the privilege of becoming the architect of your own admirable life? The choice to begin this project is the most important financial decision you will ever make. It is the decision that will determine not just the size of your portfolio, but the quality of your soul. Choose wisely, choose nobly, choose the path of the master builder. And as you build, you will find that the world looks different. You will see the frantic, anxious construction of your peers with a sense of compassion, not judgment. You will understand the flawed blueprint they are using, because you once used it too. And perhaps, through the quiet, confident example of your own sturdy edifice, you will inspire them to seek a better way. An admirable fortune is a quiet revolution. It is a personal and powerful statement against a culture of mindless accumulation. It is a vote for depth over distance, for quality over quantity, for wisdom over cleverness. It is a better way to live. So do not be daunted. Be inspired. You have been initiated into an ancient and honorable guild. You have been given the secret knowledge of the masters. It is now your time to take your place in this long lineage, to add your own unique and beautiful structure to the world. Remember the 4 pillars in all that you do. When making an investment, ask, is this prudent? When conducting business, ask, is this just? When facing a loss, ask, can I be courageous? When enjoying a gain, ask, can I be temperate? Let these 4 questions be the guiding stars of your entire financial life. This is how you stay true to the blueprint. This is how you ensure that what you are building is not just big, but good, not just impressive, but admirable. This is how you build a fortune that is also a fortress for your soul. The peace that comes from living in such a well-built house is indescribable. It is the feeling of being home, in the deepest sense of the word. It is a sense of rightness, of alignment, of profound and unshakable well-being. This is the emotional reward for your disciplined and virtuous work. Let the world chase its phantoms. Let them build their towers of smoke. You are engaged in a different, more ancient and more substantial work. You are working with stone. You are building something that will endure. Be proud of this work. It is the most important work a human being can do. This is the ultimate application of ancient wisdom. It is not an abstract intellectual exercise. It is a practical, real-world guide to building a life of flourishing. It is the Stoics reaching across the centuries and offering you their tools and their blueprint. What a gift! Accept the gift, use it, honor it by building something worthy of it. Build a life that is as strong, as balanced, and as beautiful as a Greek temple. A life that is a testament to the enduring power of wisdom. Your fortune is your legacy. It is the physical manifestation of your life's philosophy. What story do you want it to tell? A story of anxiety, greed, and ego, or a story of prudence, justice, courage, and temperance? The choice of the story is yours, and you are writing it with every financial decision you make. So, let us write a beautiful story. A story that the Stoics themselves would be proud to read. A story of a modern individual who unlocked the wisdom of the ancients and used it to build a truly admirable life. This is not about the past. It is about using the best wisdom of the past to create a better future. It is about standing on the shoulders of giants to see the path forward more clearly. It is the ultimate act of respect for our intellectual ancestors. The key has been turned. The door to the library is open. The blueprint is unrolled before you. The work awaits. Are you ready to begin? The first step is a commitment to this new, more noble definition of wealth, a commitment to the 4 virtues as your guiding principles. Make this commitment to yourself now, in the quiet of your own mind. This is the laying of the cornerstone. And from this cornerstone you will build day by day a life of such solid and admirable substance that you will become a source of strength and inspiration for everyone around you. You will become a master builder, and your own well-lived life will be your masterpiece. This is a journey of a lifetime, and it requires constant study and reinforcement. The blueprints must be reviewed daily. The principles must be kept fresh in the mind. The community of the guild must be engaged. This is why a commitment to lifelong learning is central to the Stoic path. See this channel as your daily visit to the guild hall, a place to review the blueprints, to sharpen your tools, and to be reminded of the noble purpose of your work. We are here to support you on every step of your construction project. And remember, the admiration of a Stoic is not easily won. It cannot be bought. It must be earned. It is earned through the consistent daily practice of virtue. It is the highest honor, and it is an honor you can bestow upon yourself by living a life worthy of it. Let this be your highest ambition, not to be the richest person in the graveyard, but to be the person whose life and fortune were a testament to the enduring power of wisdom. This is a goal worthy of your fullest and most noble efforts. The hollow crown of modern wealth is heavy, and it brings a constant headache. The quiet laurel wreath of a Stoic admired life is light, and it brings a constant peace. Choose the headwear that befits a philosopher king. Choose the wreath. This is the ultimate secret of the ancient wisdom. The secret is that what you build on the outside is a direct reflection of who you are on the inside. So, to build a great fortune, you must first focus on building a great character. The rest is just architecture. So go forth and build. Build with prudence. Build with justice. Build with courage. Build with temperance. Build a fortune that frees you. Build a life that inspires you. Build something the Stoics would admire. The world has enough rich people. It needs more wise people. The Stoic path is the journey of using the process of building wealth as the training ground for becoming wise. It is the ultimate 2-for-1 deal. You have the key, you have the blueprint, you have the tools, you are the architect. The only thing left is the work. Let it be a joyful, purposeful, and deeply satisfying work. Let it be the great project of your life. Thank you for joining us in the great library of wisdom today. The work of a master builder is a daily one, requiring constant reference to the master plans. If you are committed to this noble project, please like this video and subscribe. We unroll new scrolls of ancient wisdom, new videos, every single day to guide and support you in your construction.